DBS News. Fresh in the morning. Eye-opening and balanced. The DBS Morning News starts right now.
This morning's headlines: a parade in the streets of Roseau later today to mark the opening of the 47th anniversary of independence in Dominica. Dominica observes today World Tourism Day. News from the region: Trinidad and Tobago gets a grant of $94 million from the People's Republic of China. And news from the international scene: the U.S. to revoke the visa of Colombia's president, Gustavo Petro. And in sports this morning, the Dr. Daru Pishler Sports Club Falcons takes DABA Division 1 basketball title. The details of the morning news right after this.
Yo, what's up?
Baby, let's go!
Turn your TV on. Listen to DBS on Digicel TV Channel 50 and Flow TV Channel 951.
DBS News.
Welcome back to the DBS Major Morning News. My name is Curtis Matthew. Here we go with our lead story. The Chief Cultural Officer in Dominica, Elson Matthew, says a parade in the streets of Roseau later today will mark the opening of the 47th anniversary of independence. It will be bigger and better. The parade in the streets of Roseau was held for the first time last year. Mr. Matthew says many more groups will be involved this year. The parade begins at St. Alphonsus Church Ground from 3 o'clock and proceeds into Roseau.
Last year at this very ceremony, I was pitching an idea and selling a concept about a parade to commemorate the opening of independence. This year, it is no pie in the sky. You have seen it come to reality. And the goal this year is to improve upon what we were able to accomplish last time around. We got a lot of feedback, and this year we're pushing an inclusion agenda. We are asking the public to wear a touch of Madras and be part of something big. This is your opportunity to be creative with the cultural wear. Now, what could we possibly do to add to the spectacle that you witnessed last time around? So we decided to add the Cadet Corps, who will be joining us with their band and a marching platoon. We plan to feature dance, ballet, Jingping dances, as well as creative dance will feature at this year's parade. Now, we could have stopped there with the improvements, but nah, go big or go home. So there's more. Cuisine is a big part of the independence season, possibly just as big as the entertainment and the traditional arts. So guess what? We have a float to represent Wato, an event held during the independence season. So expect live cooking and much more on the road during the parade. Market Day with a Difference is also a staple event during the independence season. So why not put that in the parade as well? Dexia and the local government department are combining their efforts to present floats representing this event. So market stalls, produce, livestock, yes, livestock. They are traditions that we regard as carnival traditions. We at the division see them as Dominican traditions. So I'm happy to announce that Lapo Cabwit, Stilt Walkers, and Steel Pan will feature. And of course, they will dress the part, just like I'm asking the public to do as well.
And that's Dominica's Chief Cultural Officer, Elson Matthew. DBS Radio will bring live coverage of the opening of independence from 3 o'clock this afternoon. Other news: the Madame Wop Duet competition is making a return with 4 participants. The October 22nd competition at the Old Mill Cultural Center will see Cynthia Talbot of Pichelin, Virginia Menz of Point Michel, Angelica Gasp of Casabruce, and Evelina Blanc of Granby and Maho. That competition set for October 22nd. Finance Minister Dr. Irvin McIntyre has urged Dominicans to embrace this year's independence season as a time for unity and collaboration. His call came during the official opening of the Independence celebration, which took place at the State House Conference Center Friday afternoon. This year, Dominica is celebrating 47 years of independence under the theme 47 Years of Progress and Purpose.
Progress without purpose can lose its meaning.
But when guided by purpose, by a commitment to people, to equity, to national building, progress gets its true meaning. Progress is about people, and this is the firm belief of this government. We have always acted with the objective of people development at the forefront of our policies and decision making. But I wish to remind us that government alone cannot carry the weight of nation building. Our progress requires partnership between government and citizens, between the private sector and civil society, between communities and the diaspora. Independence calls us to unity and collaboration. It is a combined effort of citizens who share their success. And when we stand together, when we collaborate and pool our talents, there is no limit to what Dominica can achieve. Let this independence season strengthen our patriotism. Let us wear our national colors with pride, sing our songs with joy, and honor our cultural traditions. But above all, let us commit to working together hand in hand to continue shaping the future of our beloved nation.
And that's Dominica's Minister responsible for Finance, Dr. Irvin McIntyre. Meantime, Minister for Culture Greta Roberts emphasized that Dominica has experienced significant development over the years since gaining independence in 1978.
This year's independence theme, 47 years of progress and purpose, reminds us that the journey of nation building is ongoing. It calls us to reflect on where we have come from, to celebrate how far we have reached, and to renew our pledge to carry this country forward with courage, creativity, and compassion. Undoubtedly, for these 47 years, Dominica has indeed walked a path of progress and purpose. Each decade has brought with it new challenges and new opportunities. We have invested in our communities, strengthened our democracy, and built institutions that safeguard our independence and identity. Our roads, schools, hospitals, and housing developments stand as symbols of how far we have come. Today, major projects are taking shape across the island: the international airport, the marina, the cable car project. But, brothers and sisters, I think even more important than the progress we have made in infrastructure is the undaunted spirit of our people, which remains the strongest measure of our progress.
And that's the Minister responsible for Culture, Greta Roberts. Other news this morning: President of Dominica, Her Excellency Sylvanie Burton, has called for an end of the U.S. trade and economic embargo on the Republic of Cuba. The president's call came during her address at the 80th session of the UN General Assembly in New York on Thursday. Her Excellency says Dominica continues to stand in solidarity with Cuba.
Madam President, the Commonwealth of Dominica, we continue to urge that the long-running, unjust, and illegal economic embargo against the people of Cuba be revoked. Maintaining this embargo is harmful, not only to the long-suffering people of Cuba, but also to the image and profile of its sponsors. Cuba, like every other country, has a right to its self-determination. Dominica continues to stand in solidarity with Cuba. The trade and economic embargo imposed against our brothers and sisters in Cuba continues to be of great concern to us in the Caribbean. Its lifting grows increasingly urgent. Therefore, the Commonwealth of Dominica once again joins its voices with the voices of the overwhelming majority of members of this global organization to call for the immediate lifting of trade restrictions and export bans imposed on the good people of Cuba. They are unjustifiable. They belong to a bygone era. They should cease to exist. They fall, in our view, within the grand narrative of yet another Caribbean people's struggle for liberation.
President Burton also condemned U.S. sanctions on Venezuela.
Our steadfast advocacy for respect for the United Nations norms of sovereignty and non-interference impels us as well to urge that the right of the government and people of Venezuela to resolve internal challenges without outside interference be respected. We renew our condemnation of the imposition of sanctions on Venezuela. The resulting hardship forced upon the people of Venezuela needs an immediate and complete end. We also call for restrained and strict adherence to the rule of law as it relates to the presence of U.S. military assets in the blue waters of the Caribbean Sea. The solution to conflict, to challenges, should never be aggression and war. We urge that all diplomatic efforts be pursued to respect the sovereignty of states, preserve the dignity of human life, and promote peace.
And that's President of Dominica, Her Excellency Silvani Burton. Other news this morning, Dominica observes today as World Tourism Day. Here is the Tourism Minister, Denise Charles Pemberton.
Today, on World Tourism Day, we reaffirm Dominica's position as a resilient and innovative tourism destination. Tourism is not just an industry. It is a national mission that empowers communities, sustains livelihoods, and promotes the unique identity of our nature island. In recent years, Dominica has emerged stronger from the challenges of the global pandemic. Government's commitment to expanding air access, improving infrastructure, and advancing sustainable practices is now bearing fruit. With weekly service by United Airlines, daily flights by American Airlines, and expanded regional routes through Contour Airlines and Caribbean Airlines, Dominica is certainly more accessible. The extension and grooving of the Douglas Charles runway is a landmark achievement, enhancing safety and preparing the island for larger aircraft upon completion of our international airport. Cruise tourism continues to thrive, generating opportunities for vendors, tour operators, farmers, and cultural performers across the island. Aquatourism, supported by Dominica's pristine waters and world-class diving and whale watching, is solidifying our reputation as the Caribbean's premier eco-marine destination. Cultural tourism also stands tall with the World Creole Music Festival, our Bouillon Music, and other signature events energizing our youth, fostering pride, and attracting thousands of visitors each year. Together, these pillars of air, cruise, marine, and cultural tourism create a diversified product that benefits every Dominican. Tourism is powered by collaboration between government, the private sector, cultural groups, and our diaspora. Through fiscal incentives, training, and strategic policies, government ensures that the gains of tourism reach every household. As we celebrate World Tourism Day, Dominica stands proudly on a path from recovery to renewal and now to resilience. Our mission is clear: to secure Dominica's place as a world-class destination rooted in authenticity, sustainability, and shared prosperity. Happy World Tourism Day.
And that's the Minister responsible for tourism, Denise Charles Pemberton. Dominica has recorded an increase in major trauma, and that's according to Dr. Spencer St. Louis of the Dominica China Friendship Hospital. Dominica will for the first time host a trauma symposium this morning at the Dominica China Friendship Hospital.
Currently, we're experiencing, as over the past years, we're experiencing an increase in major trauma. And we also, in self-evaluation of our own processes, we recognize that there are also shortcomings. And therefore, this symposium is aimed primarily at addressing some of the shortcomings and management, hereby hoping to improve patient care outcomes. The second purpose of this, which will be addressed during the very last segment of the symposium, is sensitization of the public to the implication and cascading effects of trauma, how it affects not only the individual who's involved, but the effect on caregivers, the fact that you need to mobilize primary caregivers, the fire service, the police service, medical care personnel, the socio-economic impact of all of this on the society, and how we as a people have an important role in mitigation and reduction of the rate of major trauma.
And that's Dr. Spencer St. Louis of the Dominica China Friendship Hospital. The Trauma Symposium panel will feature a number of doctors and specialists, both here and abroad.
The title of which is The Domino Effect, Understanding Trauma and Its Impact. We are going to have a large faculty of speakers. Our keynote speaker is Dr. DeAndrea Joseph, who is a Dominican based in the United States, and she's an acute care surgeon. We also have faculty from the America-Canada Medical School in Portsmouth. We have Dominicans who live overseas, other than Dr. Joseph, who will be with us, namely Dr. Rhonda McIntyre, who works at Ross in Barbados, Dr. Geoffrey Lafort, who is an obstetrician in Barbados, and there are going to be some local faculty as well, Dr. Hazel Schillingford-Ricketts, Dr. Julian Diamas, and Dr. Jurado Iglesias, as well as Dr. Nadia Wallace.
And that's Dr. Becky John Baptiste of the Dominica China Friendship Hospital. Well, that symposium at the Dominica China Friendship Hospital to begin at 10 o'clock this morning. A recognition award ceremony and a hybrid panel discussion are among activities to commemorate the 2025 Teachers Week. Teachers Week will run from Sunday, September 28th to Friday, October 3rd. Here is the Public Relations Officer of the DAT, Juanita Carbon.
The week's celebration will commence on Sunday 28th with prayer and thanksgiving at all churches. The National Executive will celebrate at the St. Alphonsus Catholic Church. On Monday 29th, there will be a live radio talk show on DBS Radio entitled A Voice for Teachers. Activities continue on Tuesday, the 30th. The first activity will be a hybrid panel discussion entitled Breaking the Silence, Masculinity and Mental Health for Men. In the afternoon from 4 p.m., there will be a basketball match between male teachers and the students at the Benjamin's Park in Portsmouth. There will also be DAT in the streets. Members of the public will share tributes to impactful teachers.
Juanita Carbon, the Public Relations Officer of the Dominica Association of Teachers. Let's head into Trinidad now, because that country has received a grant of $94 million from China for implementation of mutually agreed projects under an agreement on economic and technical cooperation. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs announced the grant on September 26, hours before Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar delivered a speech at the 80th session of the UN General Assembly in New York. The grant was discussed during a bilateral meeting between Persad-Bissessar and the Chinese ambassador Ren Hongyan on September 18. The Trinidad Prime Minister thanking China for the grant of $94 million. And the U.S. has said it will revoke Colombia's President Gustavo Petro's visa after he urged U.S. soldiers to disobey his American counterpart, Donald Trump, during a speech to the UN in New York. The State Department described Petro's remarks as reckless. The Colombian leader was in the U.S. for the UN General Assembly, where earlier this week he called for a criminal inquiry into the Trump administration's airstrikes on alleged drug trafficking boats in the Caribbean. He was already on his way back to Bogota when the U.S. announced it would cancel his visa. It is 19 minutes after 7 o'clock. That's news. Don't go away. The sports report comes up shortly.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins and bidets. PVC piping, fittings and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Here's a quick tip from MBD.
A quick tip from the National Bank of Dominica Limited. Scammers may send fake emails or texts. Remember, NBD will never ask you to reset your more banking password or share your card PIN, CVV, or other sensitive information this way. Stay alert. Stay secure. When in doubt, contact NBD, your partner, your bank.
Let's begin the DBS Morning Sports Report with basketball news. Title celebration will be going on for the entire weekend in Pichle as the Dr. Daru Pichle Sports Club Falcons blew past the West Coast Ballers to capture the DABA Division 1 title last night at the Massac Indoor facility. Zach Bastian showed why he is the most valuable player as he poured in 26 points to lead the Falcons to the 72-52 win as the Falcons took the best of 5-match series. They took the best of 5-match series 3-0. Kareem Daniel added 19 for the Falcons, while Sharon Vidal had 17 for the West Coast Ballers. Here is the Falcons head coach, Yannick Regis.
Yeah, I'm first like give thanks to God for helping us to have a healthy season, injury-free season. Yeah, it wasn't an easy season all in all. We had a lot of ups and downs, but this team is a resilient bunch. We finished the season with an undefeated record. We had one little stumble in the semi-finals, but we held our own, and now we swept the team from West Coast, which is a very good team, and that's excellent job by our players. Our senior players came out, Yawani, Zach, Mishak, and they played their part in helping us secure this win. Kareem was always the steady anchor that he is as a big man, and definitely some big contributions by Annan as well as Keoma.
How do you think you won this series? Was it because of the defensive work that you were able to do?
Definitely. We played man-to-man against them. They wasn't used to that. They're a slower team. So we said we try and speed them up, and it worked. We had a lot of baskets in transition, and all in all, this team was very resilient. That's the word I can say. I love their passion, I love their energy, and that helped us to secure this victory. And it's a well-coached team, I must say, with the Curlin's a good coach, but all in all, I think we had a better coaching staff, myself and Ronnie McLaw. These guys are a big future in coaching, and I think this team showed that we are the best, we're the class of the Division 1.
All right. Let's look at possible candidates for MVP. I know some guys really stood out, Yawani, Kareem, Zach. Overall, who will be your pick for MVP?
Well, it's going to be tough, Gavin. I can say we have some great contributions by Yawani. Zach is the top scorer in the league, as well as Misha coming back. And to thank Express Diesel for sending him down for us, helping us to send him down. And of course our sponsor, Dr. Daru, always been there. But it's going to be tough. You have Kareem, who is a definite future big man in Dominica, national big man. So picking it, I don't envy the DBS this life in deciding who is the MVP.
And that's Yannick Regis, the Dr. Daru Pichle Sports Club coach. Meanwhile, the West Coast Ballers coach, Curlin Luke, says her team was not at their best offensively.
Well, offensively, we struggled a lot. Like I said, last night, too many easy baskets were missed and too many turnovers. So we really built ourselves on that end. Well, last year we didn't reach the finals, but disappointing season. But we'll bounce back, come back strong next year.
All right, let's talk about the second half, because the first half you got back into the game, but the second half you really ran away with things. Defensively, what are some of the errors you think you might have made?
We allowed too many transition baskets, too many fast breaks, and we were taking care of the ball ourselves, too many turnovers in the second half.
What can you take from this season moving forward to next season?
Well, we regroup, look at our strengths and build on them.
And that's the West Coast Ballers coach, Curlin Luke. Basketball action continues tonight with the top seed in the Premier League up for grabs. The defending champions, Detroit Blazers, will take on BAA Sharks. Both teams are tied on 27 points, with this being the final game of the regular season. Let's turn the attention now to cricket. The West Indies T20 coach Rayon Griffith is hoping the players can take their chances as they get set to face Nepal in the first of 3 T20s, starting this morning in the United Arab Emirates. The Windies have named 6 newcomers in the team, and the coach is hoping the players can grab the opportunity.
Well, we were in Nepal about 18 months ago. It was a good series against them. It was competitive, and they played some good cricket. And we did play some good cricket as well. Came out on top of the series, and it was very fun for the guys, and they enjoy every moment in Nepal. Well, it's a short series. We only got in a couple of days ago. We didn't get the ground running in terms of prep, but most of our players who just finished the CPL, which they have some cricket under the belt, which is a good sign for us. And today we will then have that opportunity to understand the condition more in Dubai. Well, it always excites me when it comes to young players. You know what you're going to get from young players. You know the eagerness, the willingness from them, and they're hungry. So it's going to be a very interesting series, and I'm looking forward to work with these young, excited players. We have a couple players such as Badesi. We have another young leg spinner, that's Zishan. And we have also Joel Andrews in that setup. Django, who has been playing for the West Indies, he's another young player to look out for.
And that's the West Indies T20 coach, Rayon Griffith. The first T20 gets underway 10:30 this morning. The West Indies and Nepal. It's not an engagement we've heard too much about. I think it's probably the first outing for the West Indies against Nepal. That series you want to try to see on the television sets. The Police Sports Club will be looking for their third straight win to start of the Central Cooperative Credit Union DCA Intermediate Cricket League as that tournament continues this weekend. Also looking for win number 3 will be the Starlights Cricket Club, while the Emerald Stars will be out to show that last weekend's win was no fluke as the ladies take to the field this weekend as well.
The Dominica Cricket Association Central Cooperative Credit Union 2025 Intermediate League continues this weekend. Saturday, September 27th, it's a triple header. KFC Summits versus Jungle Bay Gallia Hurricanes at the Geneva Playing Field. Dublin versus Starlights at the Botanic Gardens, and the DCA Emerald Stars versus Gladiators at Benjamin's Park. On Sunday, September 28th, DCA Emerald Stars versus Kalinago Blasters at the Botanic Gardens, and Police Sports Club versus Nachiko Northern Stars at Benjamin's Park.
And that's the Public Relations Officer of the Dominica Cricket Association, Kimara Ito. Let's stay with cricket news. The finalists for the 2025 Kalinago Premier League will be determined this weekend as the playoffs get underway from this afternoon. 4 teams have qualified for the playoffs, with the first eliminator taking place later today. Point Ridge Thunder Kings have secured the top seed.
Here are the standings, and the top 4 will go to the playoffs. Point Ridge Fonda Kings, 10 points with a net run rate of 5.05. Izulukati Bombers, 10 points, net run rate 3.21. BA Grinders, 10 points, net run rate 1.52. GM Strikers, 8 points, net run rate 1.58. Senegal Red Force, 8 points, net run rate 0.52. Concord Super Kings, 6 points. Atkinson and Drizzle Dynamic Stars, 4 points. And Central Centipede in the cellar position, 0 points. On Saturday, the 27th of September, we'll have the eliminator between Badaka BA Grinders and Gullet River Maho River GM Strikers. And on Sunday, the 20th, we have the first qualifier when Fonda Kings will play Izulukati Bombers. And both games will start at 1 p.m.
And that's the coordinator of the Kalinago Premier League, Alexander Burton. Some domino news. A major domino league is set to get underway this weekend, involving teams from across the island. The Julius Timothy Independence Competition will slam off this evening.
One of the biggest domino competition for 2025 will begin this weekend in various venues in the Julius Timothy Independent Domino League. That's when 8 big opening matches will be played. On Saturday night at 6:30 p.m., BS Stars from Anzimi will be in action against the visitors Full Effects from Riverside in Anzimi. And on Sunday at 2 p.m., Wake Up Stars and Roadside from Portsmouth will battle it out in Portsmouth. Badside from Mao will travel to Thibault to play Roadblock. Grand 4-based teams, White City and Babdad will meet in Grand 4. Warriors from Marigot will travel to Cassius to play non-players. Focus from Woodford will host One Kiss from Dodan. Brutal Forces from Granby will travel to Vickers to play Itassi Stars. And the West Coast Credit Union, Jerry Adrian Valiant, will travel to Pebbles to play Brigade Stars. Delvin Esprit reporting.
Thank you very much, Delvin Esprit, for your report. Let's put the focus back on cricket news because the former West Indies batsman Kieran Powell believes there needs to be a restructuring of the current regional franchise system. Powell says at present the system does not meet its objectives, one being to produce top-class international players. He adds that the current structure is not financially feasible.
I think that, saying that you're strapped for cash, there are different ways of going about it. I've always been a proponent of them getting rid of the regional franchise system because it's been in place long enough for you to see that in its current iteration, it's not something that produces international quality cricketers. I think that how you restructure that is you go back to the old system where guys have to fight for their place in playing for their regional teams. So selected on a match-to-match basis. I think what they can do, because the current franchise system, as I've always alluded to, guys are getting paid 12 months of the year to play 2 months, 3 months worth of cricket. I think what you can do is you can play probably an extra round of 40 cricket. If you cut out the franchise system, you can probably play an extra round of 50 over cricket and still save money. You just tack on an extra couple of $100 across formats from what they're currently being paid for the match fees, because currently you're paying guys retainer contracts as well as having to pay them match fees when the season starts, when they're playing games. So it's not financially viable. So it's not the best way to operate a business.
And that's the former West Indies batsman, Kieran Powell. That too is a look at the DBS Morning News and Sports. At 1:15, we bring you another major news package, Connecting the Dots. On this morning at 9 o'clock, Ivona John Baptist Luge and Nigel Francis will come together to bring you one of the major programs on DBS. That is at 9, Connecting the Dots. You don't want to miss the program this morning. And coming up very shortly, the insert of the package. Well, that's not going to be a very difficult one to determine. The insert of the package, that will be one called by Joseph Fadul, who will listen, and he has listened to all